we start with just kind of an opening thought on the game and being able to play in front of a home crowd for the first time in over 6 weeks?
Yeah. No, absolutely. It felt great to be on their home floor today in front of our home crowd, sleep in our home bed or our own beds for a couple nights. That definitely felt great, and I think it gave us some momentum to start the game. Kudos to Ball State. We obviously know they're a very, very good team, very talented. Coming off of a MAC championship, they don't have a ton of returners from that team, but they still have very solid transfers and players. So coming into this game, I knew we had to have a well-played effort for 40 minutes if we wanted to compete with them. The fact that we had it to 10 in the fourth quarter, I was really pleased with, and I felt we played our best basketball yet of the season. And as we continue to go through this process, obviously our best basketball is still ahead of us, and our goal is to play that in February and March. And if we continue to grow like we did the last couple weeks going forward today, I'm really excited what this squad is about.
I'll pose kind of the same question for you, playing 38 of the 40 minutes today. Kind of your thoughts on the game and how much time you spent on the court against a very tough Ball State team.
Yeah, as Coach said, we maintained the whole game steady. We never gave up. I feel like we were very aggressive on the paint, getting the shots that we wanted to take. Of course, we want them to fall more, but that's just going to get it with the work that we're putting in. And then also improving with these turnovers, showing these improvements with the turnovers compared to last week. It also shows us how important it is taking care of the ball and just, playing our best basketball.
Going back to let's talk about the first quarter. It was really close, for that first probably 7 minutes.
Yeah.
They would get a little bit of run, you guys would come back. They'd get a little bit of run, you guys would come back. Talk about Coach and Maria, kind of different for you, how proud of you for that grit and that willingness to hang on there. Yeah. And then Maria, you're helping pass the ball, you're helping make sure your teammates get the ball to, sometimes the shots aren't going, but you're getting those opportunities.
Yeah, no, absolutely. At the start of the game, we talked in the locker room about delivering the first punch. That is somewhere where we've had to grow, whatever. I don't even know what today is, Saturday, so Monday, I think it was, at St. Thomas. It was a rough start to the game, so to be able to make that a focus point and being able to go out and execute both on the offensive and defensive ends of the floor to kind of set that tone, give us that confidence, give us some momentum, I think really, really helped us. So to be able to talk about it and go out and do it, we're growing in that way. But I was happy, and I think, like I said, it gave them some confidence, like, hey, we can play with them. But all around, Ball State is very, very talented, where they have a ton of just a ton of options, whether it's 6'5" inside or fantastic shooters on the perimeter. So they took advantage of us in those areas a little bit. But the first 7 minutes of game help us play the rest of the 40, if you ask me.
Yeah, as Coach said, we went off of the game plan. We were focused. Every time we had to run some play, we were running it correctly, and we were just getting the shots that we want to take, and that's really important. And I was just putting my teammates in position to success. So, the first quarter was really good.
I just want to give, Maria just, a little bit of love. I think she has been our steady Eddie. I referred to Emily about that as well. But the fact that, Maria, it's not just about the points. It's not just about the rebounds. She has 5 assists tonight, and that's a focus point for us, is we're trying to distribute the ball more. Our assist is not where it needs to be. And so the fact that she had 5 of our 9, she knows what we're looking for in any given situation. She's a great voice for the girls in huddles, and she always, know what's going on, and she's really built up that trust, and I'm happy to have her as one of our leaders.
Thank you.
Talk about, it's been a rough stretch of a couple games. The grit and the fight, especially, that came out today, and, returning to conference play, and your conference play with the exception of 1 game now for the next 8 weeks. As a coach, how proud of you just having that team, having that internal grit? And it may have come from being on the road for a month. It may come from, just them.
Yeah, I think it's just trusting the process of it, and just being able to come in here each and every day and practice, and getting them to know that we have to continue to work hard, and we have focus points. We have a lot of room for improvement. And, they know, like, there are certain standards and expectations that I hold them to. And I think that now, maybe today, they understand of why I have those standards and expectations, right? Why I make things difficult in practice, so we can go out there and play with one of the best teams in the league. Somebody who is probably on paper more talented than us, but we showed some grit, and that's the type of team I want to coach each and every day. And we'll continue to go through the process together and continue to build. But I truly think this game will help us give us some momentum going forward and seeing like, okay, now they're trusting it. They saw what can happen with those expectations, with those standards, and we're going to win some games in the MAC if we have that effort today.
Maria, kind of same question. Having that grit, as a player, hear your coach talk about that's what she wants to coach and that's what she wants to see, and you're actually helping execute it on the court.
It just comes from practice. Practice, the standard is very high, and if we don't get to the standard, we have a consequence. So just focusing on practice, competing each and every day, that's what we do. And just going hard, because the non-controllables is the ones that are going to make you win, not so much if you're making shots or no. So yeah, just energy, attention to detail, and all those factors are going to help us win more games.
Final question is for both of you. What are kind of the key big takeaways? Yes, it's a loss. It's in the loss column, but there's a lot of positives walking away from this game.
I'm not a big moral victory person as well. And, I will have to be honest and say that, after coming after St. Thomas and some of our other games in December, I don't know what team's going to show up. You know what I mean? So we just talked about in the locker room of like, this is it here right now. So we're only going forward, right? We're not going back to the team we were just 5 days ago, right? This is where we are. This is the foundation of it. And some number things that I'm really happy with is, you forced a really good team into 18 turnovers, right? When you look at how many points that we scored compared to NIU off turnovers, we won that battle. And that's really good to turn a very good team over 18 times, right? It has me really, really excited. To hold a team of that caliber that probably is bigger than us in all 5 spots to just 12 offensive rebounds, right, I think is very good. I think that's another space that we can grow. And we limited our turnovers. Like those three things are key for me. We have goals on the board before each and every game, and we hit all 3 of those today. And so I think going forward, like when we see those goals, we set mini goals, whether it's, hey, let's win these first 5 minutes. Let's win these next 3 minutes. When you break it up into small things and you see results, I think that's going to help us go forward, like I said, to continue to put these 40 minutes together to get a W.
Yeah, kind of the same thing as Coach said. And also, just looking at the numbers as well, we got to the free throw line 23 times compared to them 16. So that also shows us how aggressive we are on the paint, and we just got to knock them down, and the layups as well. So,
Yep. Any closing thoughts from you guys? Anything we didn't touch on, anything you just want to say as we head into, you get a handful of games at home now this month.
It's just happy with our efforts. Like I said, never happy with a loss, but happy with the effort. We'll continue to go back to work. We'll continue to grind. Excited to go back on the road and play a Buffalo team. I think this is a game that if we go out there and we play at the caliber that we did today, we have a very good opportunity to win. So I hope that we can continue to grow and mature, right? And like I said, don't take any steps backwards. Everything is forward from here on out.
yeah, the same thing. I'm good.
Go Huskies.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.